Hello, I am Meshell Baker, the Chief Confidence Igniter, coming to you on Mondays with Meshell. Today, we're going to broach the topic of, is your confidence a convenience or a commitment? This is a subject that is always brought up to me based on the questions I'm asked about either imposter syndrome, about fear, doubt, second guessing, confidence, courage. It really is clear whether someone is seeing confidence as a convenience or a commitment. So I want to share with you today some things that'll help you know where you are in the spectrum, where if you're, wobbly or on the fence about it, or you truly are committed to building your confidence. Something you will know is when it's a convenience, you will always find a reason, an excuse, an alibi, a justification why you can't achieve the goal, why you're not ready, why it's not the right time, why you don't know enough, why you're not prepared, why it's unfair. You will find some reason to stop instead of forging ahead at full force. When you're committed, there's no challenge that you can't overcome. There, you will always achieve the goal, no matter how long and arduous the road is. That's one way to show that you're either committed or convenient. Where you're committed, you go blind to all obstacles. Your heart is so completely compelled and so full of the vision of success. It doesn't matter where you have to go, who you have to talk to, what you have to do, what's required of you. You will do it because all you can see is the end. All you can see is success, and failure is a non-issue. But when it's convenient, as soon as it feels hard or difficult or uncomfortable or inconvenient, you'll move on. That's one way to know. There's this Aesop's fable that I recently came across, and I wanted to share with you because it's about courage. And when it's convenient, you don't need courage because you give up. When you're committed, your courage is necessary, and it grows and blossoms and thrives and expands in the face of being committed to your confidence. Your courage gets bigger and bolder and braver and brasher and all the more beautiful things. So I want to read this to you. It's called Belling the Cat. It's an Aesop's fable. The mice once called a meeting to decide on a plan to free themselves of their enemy, the cat. At least they wished to find some way of knowing when she was coming so they might have time to run away. Indeed, something had to be done, for they lived in such constant fear of her claws that they hardly dared stir from their dens by night or day. Many plans were discussed, but none of them was thought good enough. At last, a very young mouse got up and said, I have a plan that seems very simple, but I know it will be successful. All we have to do is hang a bell around the cat's neck. Then, when we hear the bell ringing, we'll know immediately that our enemy is coming. Brilliant. All the mice were surprised that they hadn't thought of such a plan before. But in the midst of rejoicing, of regaling the good fortune, an old mouse arose and said, I will say that the plan of the young mouse is very good, but let me ask one question. Who will bell the cat? It is one thing to say that something should be done, but very different matter to do it. This is the difference between convenience and commitment. The idea that something will be awesome, amazing, and great is convenient. The actual moving forward to put a plan, to take action, to actually follow through on that plan, that's commitment. That's where fear will always come up because there's uncertainty, there's the unknown. It's often inconvenient. You're often doing things you've never done before, talking to people you've never talked to, going places you've never gone before. Confidence is not an easy game in the beginning. When you do it consistently, repeatedly over time, it does get easier and becomes more natural. It is always the beginning of anything amazing that is the hardest part and the most difficult part of the journey. And I want to leave you with this week. This past Saturday, I had the great pleasure of being on a panel and having breakout groups for a STEM program of high school young ladies. They were ages 15 to 18. It was absolutely incredible to take them through the process, to tell them of my own humble upbringings and how I strayed in high school. And I ended up incarcerated by the time I was 20 because I didn't take the path of doing the things that they were doing, being one of 18 young ladies out of a school of thousands, to be there on a Saturday morning and to hear mentors and to put plans in place. It was a conference, from a weekend conference where they were actually building on themselves and their beliefs about college and about STEM and about things amazing. The interesting part, that the reason I tell you this story are the questions. When we had the breakouts and we went through some exercises, all my sessions had a period where I allowed them to ask me anything they wanted to ask me about confidence, about any fears or challenges or difficulties that they had been experiencing that were causing them to maybe not feel completely confident. The most amazing part of the weekend was the fact that those young ladies asked the same questions as my grown women do. It was just different scenarios. What I came away with was the fact that most of the women in my meetings are anywhere from the ages of 30s all the way up to 50s, were asking the same questions as they did when they were teenagers. I want you to understand, the imposter, the critic, the judge in your head never goes away. It just gets stronger and bigger and greater. It's with you forever, your entire life. There is no time like the present. There's no later for doing this work to get that critic out of your head. The sooner you start, the more you will have joy and enjoyment and be able to engage in life without caring what other people think. I say this because when you are truly committed, you will start today. There is no plan, no vacation, no promotion. There's nothing that gets in the way of you taking care of the voice in your head. Remember, everywhere you go, there you are. And until that voice becomes something that's amazing, life will never be completely amazing. It will always find a way to let you down, disappoint you, frustrate you, and overwhelm you. So I say this: are you committed to your confidence, or is it just a convenience? I'm Meshell Baker, Chief Confidence Igniter, transformational keynote speaker, and confident living catalyst. If you are interested in making a commitment to your confidence, I challenge you to reach out to me to hear and get the information for the upcoming Debut Your Champion coaching groups that I have. Have a great week, and I will see you all next Monday.